Warning: if you are sensitive to strong language, graphic descriptions of injury, or the mention of childhood trauma, then this video is not for you. This video is meant for education and entertainment purposes only. All statements are based on my own personal experience and opinion and may not be facts. As always, do your own research and form your own opinions. Tonight, my unconventional conventionists, we will be taking a journey away from YouTube toward Instagram to have a look at Amberlynn's most recent few Q&A sessions. And yet again, I will be making this all about myself, more or less. Now, without further ado, let us dive right into this dumpster, shall we? And our first question is, who would you say is the ultimate 90s babe? Oops. Amber says Britney Spears because she has no taste and lacks foresight. And I, personally, myself, my opinion, is Jeff Tate from Queensryche because his voice is absolutely amazing. And even though he's really short, he is ultra fucking hot when he was younger. I don't know about now. I haven't seen him in a hot minute. Are you worried about blood clots now after your injury? She says, no, I'm not, because I wasn't super active person before this anyways. Amber, doesn't matter. You should be worried about blood clots at your size and your activity level, generally speaking. I personally had to had to live through an embolism. And I am a sedentary human being. I have a propensity for hanging out on my couch and listening to creepypastas for hours in between running after my cats and cleaning. You should be worried about blood clots. You should be taking 81 milligram aspirin every single day as a blood thinner. And because that will help your circulation and it's good for your heart too. You mentioned you had a lump near your armpit. Did you get that checked? I don't have a lump near my armpit. It's on my arm, a little higher than my wrist. Amber, like maybe one or two videos ago, you talked about you had a lump under the skin on your upper arm that was not, you couldn't see it, but you could feel it. And you said that sometimes it gets hot and red. So, where is the lump? And were you just making things up? You literally caught you falling on film, and people still don't believe it. I don't even process that. People are pathetic. Amber, any other normal person in the world would have laid out a string of profanity or made a loud yell when they fell. You just basically meeped like a person who just dropped their cell phone and nothing else. That's why people are questioning the narrative here. So go ahead with your bad self and keep calling people pathetic. It's you that's weird. Why does it bother you that people point out that you are overweight? It bothers me that people bring up my weight in every single situation possible. They asked you why it bothers you, not that it bothers you, where it bothers you. And speaking as a formerly morbidly obese person, when people brought up my weight, it was usually to be derogatory, and tell me what I couldn't do. And yeah, that's the part that bothered me because it was always about the things that I could not do. And so I guess I have a little bit of defiant disorder. I don't know. I'm not diagnosing myself or anything, but when people tell me I can't fucking do things, I prove them fucking wrong. Because you can't tell me what I can't do. And the next question is, are you allergic to any meds, animals, or anything?
Amber says she's allergic to cats when it comes to animals, but no medications that she knows of. Me, personally, the crap artist here, I am allergic to no animals, but I am allergic to nutmeg and cilantro and certain hair dyes. They put me in anaphylaxis, my throat swells, um, and I can't breathe, and my heart rate goes up. And for medications, I am allergic to aspirin and most opioid painkillers, actually all opioid painkillers. And yep, that is what I am allergic to. Will you get a temporary shower chair? She really should. I am not an obese person. I am an average size human being, but I do have mobility issues. And rather than sitting down in the shower, I lay in a bathtub because I can just sit there and relax and take my time and make sure that every nook and cranny is like nice and sparkly clean and scrubbed the hell up. If Amber got a shower chair, she could sit there and take her time and have the water pouring down on her and not feel her legs straining or her back hurt or anything. She has no idea what she's missing out on. She just thinks it would be harder in her opinion. She herself has never tried. So she doesn't actually know. They make those shower chairs because it makes showering a lot easier. They wouldn't make them if it didn't help. She's so fucking stupid. I'm confused. Doesn't morbid obesity cause one to have mobility and balance issues, though? I don't know. I've never had balance issues, thankfully. Amber, I've seen you walk. You've got some balance issues, and you've got some mobility problems, too. You have a hard time getting on, jumping off of curbs, as I seem to recall in a video of you and Destiny. Anyway, as a former morbidly obese human being, I did have some balance and mobility issues, and my highest weight was 387 pounds. Um, I didn't fall a lot, but there was a lot of stuff that I couldn't do. There was a lot of places that I couldn't get into. Like one of my hobbies is urban exploration, and when you are a big girl, you cannot go on the second floor of certain buildings. And if you do, you're putting your life at risk. So, yeah, you did that. That's a real big downer to be obese and have hobbies. And yes, it does cause mobility and balance issues. Do you like baby doll dresses? Amber says she does. She likes to wear baby doll dresses as shirts. I like to just wear them all the time as costumes at the flea market. But I too also wear uh, little black tights underneath all of my dresses because I have weird looking knees. If you are so good at handling pain, you aren't taking painkillers. Why complain about how much it hurts? I'm not complaining. I'm simply stating a fact. Um, Amber, spraining an ankle is not really that painful, comparatively speaking. I've had 2 hernia surgeries, a gastric bypass, a bilateral stent surgery, and many injuries, resulting in a facial scar and other choice permanent damage. And I am allergic to painkillers. I muscle through, and I never say it more than once that I'm in pain, which is why my husband and I have some communication issues. How do you feel about breast augmentations and other cosmetic plastic surgery? If that's what you want to do, go for it. I would if I could, but I have no reason to currently. I need to lose weight first. Yes, you do. Yes, you do, Amber. And my personal opinion is do what you want with your own body. But me, myself, and I don't need it. I don't need to cut myself up to feel beautiful and perfect because I am beautiful and perfect on the inside. If you could get weight loss surgery for free, would you go through with the gastric bypass? Yes, without a doubt. I wouldn't even have to think about it. Automatic yes. Let's do it today. LOL. Oh, honey, no. Honey, no. Even if it was free, I don't think that the gastric bypass is for you. You are an emotional eater, you're a binge eater, and when you have a gastric bypass, you end up with a stomach the size of two pieces of California roll. I mean, at least that's what mine was. I don't even think they do my surgery anymore. I had the Roux-en-Y gastric bypass. Anyway, so yeah, she wouldn't be able to handle what I had because the very first time that I had solid food when I was not supposed to, it hurt so bad that I thought that I was going to die. I had a pretzel bite at the movie theater. I can't remember what movie we were watching or we saw at the time, but Bill got pretzel bites and cheese, and those are my favorite things in the world. And all I could have was a diet soda. And so I was like, Bill, give me one of them pretzel bites. And I took one bite and I didn't chew it enough, and I swallowed, and it got stuck in the little tiny pouch. And I had to run out of the movie theater into the bathroom and do secret things to get it back up. And I ruined the movie for us because we had to go home because I ate part of a pretzel bite. Anyway, if you could have one thing right now, what would it be? And Amber's little short-sighted answer is go back in time and not be vlogging while walking so it didn't hurt my ankle. Now, if you asked me a question like that, um, I would say the one thing that I would like to have right now would be $50,000 and a brick and mortar building for my boutique. Favorite holiday movie? And Amber says, Four Christmases. My favorite holiday movie is A Christmas Story. You know, with little Ralphie and you'll shoot your eye out and the tongue stuck to the flagpole. Um, Yeah, no, that I have no idea what Four Christmases is, but A Christmas Story is fucking amazing, and everybody should watch it. Weight loss surgery is covered by insurance for anyone with a BMI of 40. Shouldn't be your excuse. Oh, money shouldn't be your excuse. Not all insurances. Amber, do you even have insurance? I think you stated previously that you didn't have insurance, that you were paying out of pocket for this um, weight loss clinic psychologist. So yeah, you probably don't even have insurance. Anyway, my insurance covered it, but I have really, really, really good insurance. So I don't know about other people either. Does your girlfriend believe the moon landing? Do you still think it didn't happen? She believes we have been on the moon, but I do not. My personal opinion, I like the Joe Rogan explanation. Um, Joe Rogan thinks that we have been on the moon, but we faked the footage because we found something that maybe nobody is really ready to see. So we had no choice but to fake it and then act like we can't go back because we lost the technology. That's I think that's a lot more fun to think about than the faking of it just to win the Cold War. This isn't meant to be mean at all, but is there a reason you say ing words like een, an accent situation type deal? Whatever, Amber. They got speech therapy that you can do by yourself at home alone. You got no excuse for that. It makes you sound stupid, to be honest, Amber, dear. What have you eaten today? Half of a burrito bowl. That's lame. Uh, I had a scrapple and tomato sandwich with my husband because today is his, or this week is his birthday week, and he gets to pick what we eat. What's the most you spent in a manic episode, and on what? About 10K on fucking cabochons. I spent that within a 2 week time frame. I wonder what the hell she means by cabochon. If she's talking about like gemstones cut in cabochon shape, or she's talking about the flat back resin pieces that have many different shapes and are just meant for scrapbooking and fabric crafts. Because on AliExpress, the word cabochon is very, very loosely used. It just means a flat backed object for embellishment. It doesn't mean gemstone. So yeah, I wonder what she's talking about with cabochons here. Um, Let us continue. Oh, and about using spending in a manic episode. I don't tend to have manic episodes, but I do impulse buy. And my largest impulse spending was about $400, and it was on a whole bunch of glass lamp work beads. They're handmade design beads. They're very nice. And I did make my money back. Quite a bit of my money back, actually. I'm not overweight and fell exactly like you did and had the exact same experience. Scary, isn't it? Hope you're doing well now. Torn ligaments and sprained ankles are really not that big of a deal, even when you're her size, unless like somebody is letting her order takeout again for every single meal. It wouldn't be a detriment to her. She would be able to heal pretty fast from it. It's literally just a sprained ankle, and there's only 4 ligaments in the ankle, so multiple ligaments, yeah, maybe what, 2 or 3, probably just 2. Have you ever had to deal with the death of someone close to you? Yes, quite a few people. The worst was my grandma, though. Um, I'm getting up there in age, and I've had to deal with death of very, very, very close people a lot in my life. I lost my best friend from high school, Nikki, when we were 21 because he was a brittle diabetic. Um, my brother passed away. I have a stepbrother, had a stepbrother named Tommy, and he passed away when I was 21 as well. Um, he was a very sad person. And I also lost all of my grandparents, my father, um, and a few very, very close friends, and my favorite great aunt, Lucille. When she passed away, I went nuts for almost a year with grief. Yeah. Death, I don't take death very well, and other people's grief is even worse on me. I don't know how to deal with other people's grief at all. I can't, um, because when people die, it hurts me so bad, and there's nothing you can do for me, so I feel like there's nothing I can do for other people when they're grieving other than to tell them that I'm sorry for their loss, and what the fuck does that do for them? They've lost something wonderful and beautiful in their life. Anyway, let's continue. Why don't you drink anymore? Serves my body no purpose, she says. And that's a good opinion and attitude to have because alcoholism sucks and it's one of the hardest habits to quit. I speak from experience. Do you feel like your weight has very little impact on your life? No, it definitely impacts quite a bit, just not as much as people think. Speaking as a former morbidly obese person, My weight impacted about 99% of my life, and I wasn't even as big as Amber. There was a lot of stuff I couldn't do with my friends. There was a lot of places I couldn't go. There were things I couldn't see. There was activities that I couldn't take part in, and it fucking sucked. Just being able to clean yourself, clean your house, and take your pets for a walk is not living a life. People know how much it impacts your life, and Amber, you don't really even realize what you are missing out on. That's how much it impacts your life. How do you remember the pain, but you don't remember if it was your leg or ankle? As a 7-year old, the diagnosis meant absolutely nothing to me. I wouldn't be able to tell you if I had a cold or the flu at that age, let alone which bone in my body was broke. I remember the pain like it was yesterday, though. I remember the whole thing, from the few minutes before it happened to the time I went to the hospital and they put the cast on. I remember yesterday. I'm sorry. No Queensrÿche jokes. No Queensrÿche jokes, I promise. Wow, Amber. If you remember all of that, you would probably remember, like, where the pain was rather than just the pain itself. Um, the very first time I broke my arm, it's story time. Um, I was over at the neighbor kid's house. It was 3 little boys, and their dad was the pastor at the church down the street from us. And they were really handy little kids, so they built this awesome little wooden bike ramp. And I think I was like 6 or 7. Yeah, 6 or 7. And so I was still in training wheels because I'm kind of a slow learner. That's the nature of dyslexia. You don't have real good hand-eye coordination when you're little. Still on training wheels, and I go on the ramp, and my bike was not completely even, so a training wheel went off the side, and I went flying, and I landed like with my arm under my body. So like I bruised my ribs and fractured. Well, I didn't fracture it. I dislocated and broke it real good. Um, and I couldn't move it. Like it would turn a little bit, but I couldn't turn my wrist all the way around. Like either way, it wouldn't. I couldn't. I did not have full mobility anymore. It just stopped. I couldn't make it turn. And that day was ballet practice. And I had about half an hour to get ready to go to ballet before my mom came to pick me up to take me there. And I had to run home with my hurt wrist and try to get out of my school uniform and into my ballet clothes. And I couldn't unzip my zipper in the back of my uniform, so I had to run back over to that neighbor's house, get their mom to unzip my uniform, run home, and screaming in pain, put on my ballet leotard, tights and a little bodysuit and leg warmers, and go sit on the porch and wait for my mom. And when she gets home, I show her my wrist because it hurt really bad. And I said, Mommy, I fell at the neighbor's house and now my wrist doesn't move all the way. And she looks at it and there's this big giant lump under the skin. And she says, oh my God, we have to go to the hospital. So instead of ballet practice, woohoo, I had to go to the hospital. And at the hospital, my mom worked there, and it was literally a block away from our house. It was kind of cool. And we had a church on one side of the block and Newcomb Medical Center on the other. Anyway, so we're at the hospital, and my mom is talking to the doctor while the doctor is holding my wrist in his hand. I'm trying to pay attention to what they're saying. My mom is deeply focused on the doctor, and the doctor is holding my hand, and with the calmest look on his face, he just pulls it and grabs it really hard, and I hear a click, and it popped back in place, and then I had full mobility again. So, and this was while my mom says that he was talking to her about having to have a surgical procedure to reset the bone in my arm, but he just did it right then and there. Um, that I have full memory of, yeah. And that pain was not as bad as the pain that I felt during the high points of my embolism as my toe was dying and the circulation in my legs was failing. Cabochons, as in the gemstones, because at least those will have resale value if you still have them. I did sell them, but I only made like 500 back. So she didn't answer the question. She did not answer the question. The person said, as in gemstones. So they probably were not gemstones. They probably were those crappy mass-produced resin flatbacks. I've got a video of Chinese garbage mail showing some off that I made into little stupid charms. And I did get quite a bit of my money back from those. It's a shame that she only made 500 back. She's doing something wrong. Do you like pumpkin spice? I used to, but not anymore. It's kind of gross, laughing my fucking ass off. I truly don't get the hype. I can't have pumpkin spice because it got nutmeg in it. And also, it smells nasty. Would you ever take English creative writing college classes? I totally would. Amber, you totally need to. Sometimes a pulled ligament can be more painful than a break. I hope you heal fast, darling. Oh, this is without a doubt more painful compared to when I broke my ankle. Thank you. I mean, like, whatever. You just want to set your narrative. Go ahead. Would you consider going to Mexico for weight loss surgery? I'm down 68 pounds since June 30th. Congrats! And I really wouldn't know where to begin to do something like that. Amber, all you gotta do is Google weight loss surgery in Mexico, and you will get 1,000 hits on it. They have all kinds of groups. They got group travel rates for ladies to go to the same hospital on the same plane and have the same surgery by the same group of doctors. All you have to do is go to Google and look it up. And also for everybody else, there is a website called obesityhelp.com. I don't remember if it's .org or .com. I will look it up and put a link in the description. I'm sorry people think you're lying about your diagnosis. I'm also bipolar too, and I get mania. If I was lying, I wouldn't be on Lamictal, lol. It's so funny that people tell me I'm lying when I am diagnosed by a professional who I've been seeing for 4 years, but then they'll diagnose me with the craziest shit. Y'all suck as humans. I can promise you that. I'm gonna tell you something. Primary care doctors are paid by drug companies through representatives to push certain medications. They over they overprescribe mood and mind altering medications, they overprescribe painkillers, and they do that because they get kickbacks from the drug companies. A past primary care doctor of mine put in my file that I was bipolar, even though I had never been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, nor, no no mental health professional ever diagnosed me as bipolar. But my former primary care doctor put it in my file and kept pushing drugs on me. She kept pushing Zoloft. She kept pushing Cymbalta on me. She kept pushing Topamax on me because I get migraines. And rather than check and see if I had TMJ or any problems with facial muscles or anything, she put me on a mood altering medication. So, yeah, Amber, You can be on those mood drugs and not have a proper diagnosis. All you have to do is complain a little bit, and the doctor will say, "Oh, here's an opportunity for me to get a couple of bucks from Pfizer or Johnson and Johnson or what have you." So, yeah, you go ahead with your bad self, Amber. You go ahead. Are you going to see an orthopedic specialist for your ankle? Yep. Oh my God, Amber. Oh my God. You better not. You better not. That man is going to tell you that he can't do anything for you because all you have is a sprained ankle. And sprained ankles heal with time and rest. There's nothing an orthopedic specialist can do for you, Amber. I sprained my ankle ages ago. I'm thin and felt sick because of the pains, so the people laughing, it's not funny. The first thing I woke up and had to find the will to walk to the bathroom. I almost puked because it hurt so bad. You know what? Pain does that to you at all kinds of levels. If you're not ready to feel that, it makes you nauseous. It happens to me all the fucking time. Oh my God. Oh my God. The other week, all I did was stub my toe and I kind of wanted to throw up a little bit. So yeah, pain makes you a little pukey. Do you actually like any of the books you had to read in school? I did more than most. No, I found them all so boring. That's really lame, Amber. Um, some of the books that I read in high school are still burned into my memory to this day. Like Jude the Obscure. That book is nuts. And in my senior year, my teacher got in trouble for having us read The Black or the Berry. So we had to stop reading it like a quarter of the way through. And the people that wanted it, she gave us all copies to take home and read of our own free will. That was pretty awesome. And that book is really fucking great. Amber should read it. Jade should read it. She would enjoy it. Anyway, a few of the other books that I enjoyed from high school are The Pearl, because you can't go wrong with some Steinbeck, Of Mice and Men, again, because you can't go wrong with some Steinbeck. Um, my favorite poet was one that I found while in high school, and that's T.S. Eliot. Um, and also, we read 1984 and Animal Farm, and those two books are what shaped me into the person that I am today, especially 1984, with my little bit of defiant disorder, undiagnosed, of course. Do you feel like your childhood traumas affect your relationship with food as an adult? 100%. That's the only reason why I have this relationship with food. You know, my childhood traumas affect a lot more than just my eating habits. They affect everything about me. They affect my relationships with people. I have a very hard time trusting people, allowing them to get close. Um, I don't take compliments very well. I'm always like, huh, what the fuck do you want from me? Why you acting like I'm this awesome person? You want something out of me. I don't, yeah, my childhood traumas affect far more than just my stupid little eating habits. And it's a shame that Amber can't really think past food and self gratification. It really is. How long did you wait in the ER? I was there for a little over 3 hours. You know, that's not bad. I live in Baltimore County, and the closest hospital, which in my personal opinion is basically made of garbage, it's called Franklin Square. Um, they'll make you sit and wait in the waiting room for 4.5 hours after they've processed you through triage. And what they do is they go by the severity of the case. So like if you come in there with like some ulcer pain and they really don't understand what you're going through, the guy with the guy with chest pain is going to go before you, even if he only checked in 5 minutes ago and you've already been sitting there for 2 hours. Anyway, let's go. Have you ever looked at your subreddit? Nope, I don't do Reddit. Amber, you are a fucking lie. With so much time on your hands now, what do you find you're thinking about most? My mobility and my health. I've had so many anxiety attacks since this happened. You know, Amber's got a really, really, really short range of emotion because I think that when she says anxiety attack, all she's really having is some strong emotion like a little bit of fear or a little bit of sorrow, and it she's translating it out as anxiety attack. Um, I would be worried about a lot more if I were her. I really would. Genuine question. How did you get up? I can imagine it was a hard task while being in pain. I was on a small hill, so that helped some. I simply got up through the pain and all. Amber, that is not what that person asked. They asked how you got up. So, like, they want to know what motions you went through to get up. Where did you place your hands? Where were your knees? That's what they want to know. Not like, oh, I just did it. I'm proud of you for going on that walk that day. Don't let this stop you. And she says, thanks so much. As much as I don't want, I still put on my shoes and went for it. My depression was debilitating, but I had to get some fresh air. So I guess this means that she is going to let this injury stop her from ever going on a walk again and exercising in any kind of exertion. Do you feel you're a half glass full or glass half empty kind of girl? As a person, I'm a half glass full kind of person. But when my anxiety and paranoia act up, I'm very much half empty. Okay, now all of a sudden she's got paranoia. We've never heard this before. So, hooray for Amber. She learned a new symptom of mental disorders. Me personally, I like to deny the fact that I happen to be a deeply paranoid person. I am just very, very hypervigilant and very aware of my surroundings. And for me, I am neither a glass half empty or half full kind of person. I am a fuck this glass, just hand me the bottle kind of person. And that is where most of my problems start. Genuine thoughts on weight loss surgery. You don't seem to be too fond of it, to be honest. It changes thousands of lives for the better. I used to not be so fond of it either, but that was over a decade ago. Now I'm completely 100% for it. You were not fond of it for far more than just a little bit of time. You were not fond of it for half of that decade at least. So there is that. And Amber, weight loss surgery is not for you. I don't think that you have the emotional or mental capacity to really, really comprehend and live with the changes this does to your entire life. I don't think that weight loss surgery would be a very good idea for Amber Lynn Reed. Do you feel comfortable sharing how doctors have treated you differently? And Amber says, a big one is they don't take me seriously, kind of shrug me off, don't give me tests that a smaller person would get, like me bleeding so much for so long, and no one took me seriously till I was literally bleeding to death. It just really is eye-opening. Even Dr. Now admits that there's a lot of discrimination with super morbidly obese and doctors. First of all, Amber, you were not bleeding to death. Um, you were not. The only way that you would be bleeding to death is if you had an open wound in there, and you didn't. You were just shedding lining that had accumulated over a very, very long period of time. So stop saying you were bleeding to death. It just makes you look like a pansy. And second, doctors treat super morbidly obese people differently and with bias because it is hard to sit and look at a person who purposely and maliciously destroyed their health and their entire lives just for food and not feel a little bit disgusted, because they're sitting there now asking the doctor for help to stay alive so that they can consume and waste some more. So, yeah, there is a little bit of discrimination and a little bit of bias because, um, you know, it's a thing. Anyway, as a former morbidly obese person, one of the incidents that happened to me that sticks in my brain still is I had to go to a clinic, and during my procedure I had my legs up in stirrups, and the doctor told me, it was a little tiny Asian guy, and he says, "You're too fat to put all your weight on the stirrups. Don't press down in the stirrups." And he literally said I was too fat for the stirrups and told me not to press down, and was just really, really mean about it. So I had to hold my legs up and you know, try to be in like a leg lift position the entire procedure. And I was in so much pain that I just couldn't do it. And so I just rested my legs on the stirrups. I didn't press down or anything. And it broke in the middle of this really, really invasive procedure that I was having. And the doctor yelled at me and they had to stop, and oh, it was terrible. But anyway, yeah, uh you do get treated different because you are very, very different. It takes a lot more special equipment and it is a lot more expensive to treat super morbidly obese people. Your haters lose their mind over every small issue in your life. They need a therapist. Agree? Amber probably wrote this one to herself too. I'm not sure if they need a therapist or not, but they definitely lose their minds over literally everything I say or do. It's wild. Kind of a weird phenomena. Sure. Because Amber, you have a lot of the classic signs of narcissistic personality disorder. And one of the things that narcissists do is they tend to all have the same script, and they all have the same type of excuses and type of wordplay, by omitting certain things or wording things in a certain way to make people think one thing while they really literally mean something else. And you remind a lot of people of the narcissistic abuse that they have suffered in their lives. And that is kind of a weird phenomena. Do you think doctors treat you differently because you're overweight? They do. My girlfriend has witnessed it firsthand. Doctors will treat you differently on site for a lot of different reasons. Um, I have weird hair, a lot of scars, and a bunch of tattoos. So I get treated a little bit different by older doctors because they look at me and they see a person that is trying to seek pills or have like some sort of addiction met. And that is not what I am. I am just a person seeking care with a lot of monsters in her head. Do you realize that being obese is what causes a light stumble to turn into being bedridden? A light stumble? Okay, blocked. Y'all are so fucking far gone with your fat phobia that you can't even think straight anymore. I mean, yeah, I guess it wasn't a light stumble. She probably did take a full on header, but it would have been a lot less damaging if she wasn't super morbidly obese. She would have probably not sprained her ankle. She would have probably skinned a knee, jumped back up, and finished her walk. I mean, that's what happens to me when I take headers. And even me, yes, I am a very thin person, but I get vertigo a lot and I fall a lot too. How come they haven't given you blood thinning medication since the fall made you immobile? Because I'm not immobile. I'm in pain, which is making it extremely hard to walk. So I simply don't. I'm healing. Amber, you said in your video that you were laying around in bed for days, and the only time you get up is to go to the bathroom. That means you are immobile. And I bet you $100 that the doctor or the practitioner that spoke to you while they were treating you told you on the way home to take one aspirin every day because aspirin is a blood thinner and you wouldn't need special medication like I need because I am on blood thinners and I am allergic to aspirin. That's why nobody told you to take a blood thinner, because aspirin is over the counter. So sorry to hear your injury is causing anxiety. You will get through this sooner than you think. I really hope so, because I have plans. This has completely prolonged everything I've worked so hard for. It's a complete mind fuck. Amber, you should be better in a week from that little tiny sprained ankle. Torn ligaments are not that bad, and you will not take the full 12 weeks. And if you do take the full 12 weeks, that's just you being lazy. It should take you a week. You should have it raised, iced, and wrapped well. And every once in a while, do a little bit of stretching exercises so that you can keep flexibility in it and you won't have any problem. What plans did you have? I mean, you don't tend to be the type of person that makes long-term plans because I don't really think you're capable of thinking that far into the future. Because after all, you aren't capable of visualizing or having internal dialogue anyway. Being on antidepressants, did drinking when you did affect anything? P.S. Feel better. I didn't notice a difference. Probably because you were drunk. Um, as a recovering alcoholic, while I was on antidepressants, um, and I drank, it amplified the effects of the alcohol, and I went into blackout mode a hell of a lot sooner. And I was also quite a bit more hard to handle while I was on antidepressants and drinking at the same time. Now I do neither of those things. I am not on medication nor alcohol. You have been with your girlfriend for 1 year. You should have lost so much weight by now, no? I've lost 100 pounds. I believe that is a lot of weight, no? Laughing my ass off. So this person is a very, 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 very clever person because they just got Amber to admit that she has been with this girl for 1 year. So this is not some other girlfriend. This is, in fact, Miss Wipey Jade Alex. Does being bedbound now give you courage to be more active once you're healed? It does the opposite. It makes me feel so damn cautious about any little movement and the future of my mobility. I'm sure I'll leave this stage once I start feeling better, but my anxiety right now is winning over any rational thinking. That's a shame for you, Amber. That really is a shame for you. I suffer with deep anxiety, so much so that I have like bouts of pain that like it feels like I'm being tattooed all over the place. I don't know if that's a panic attack or whatever, but it fucking hurts all over. It's like my body's on fire and I'm being tattooed at the same time. It's mostly like it starts in my back and in my shoulders and down my legs. It's kind of like a neuralgia pain. Anyway, even when I feel like that, I know that it's all just in my head, and so I just push through and I do the thing that's making me feel anxious and making me panic. I do the thing anyway. And when the thing is done, I feel a lot better and I have won over my panic attack and my anxiety. So it's really, really sad that you, at 31 years old, aren't capable of living a normal life because you let every little tiny itty bitty thing cause you anxiety, nervousness, and panic. I'm sorry for you, Amber. I really, really am. People mean that the more weight that fell made the injury harder on your body parts. No, this also happens to skinny people. My weight literally had nothing to do with the injury. Why does everyone constantly blame my weight on everything? Y'all are wasting your time. Amber, honey, if I took the same fall that you took, me being 120 something pounds right now, don't own a scale. Last time I was at the doctor, I was a little bit low. I went under 130. Um, anyway, if I took the same fall, I would not have twisted my ankle. I would have screamed fuck, skinned my knee, and jumped back up and finished the walk all the way through, not going back to the apartment. You are over 400 pounds. It did affect the amount of injury that you have. It did, regardless of what you think, regardless of what you think everybody else is wasting their time. Your weight does affect how your body moves. Your weight does affect the amount of injury you get when you have an injury, when you have a fall. So, what the fuck ever, you are delusional. How come you don't travel anywhere? Like to different countries? Minus my weight and the lack of passport, COVID scares me. Now monkeypox. Yikes, I'm good. Um, yeah, the weight is more daunting than the COVID and the passport because you can just go to the post office and get yourself a passport. And if COVID scares you, just wear a mask and get currently vaccinated. I don't know what the fuck to say. Um, anyway, what stops me from traveling is money and not having a proper cat sitter for my absurd amount of cats. And also, um, money.
Sorry for that abrupt cut there. Um, well, all I can say in the end is that I hope that Amber's injury heals quickly and without permanent lasting damage. And I hope that it does not deter her from getting up and moving around and exercising. Um, she can do low impact exercises and she can regain her mobility rather quickly if she really puts her mind to it and does the work. Um, torn ligaments and sprained ankles are pretty common injuries. I mean, everybody gets them, and everybody's weight affects the amount of injury differently. You know, a small person is going to be less likely to sustain any serious injury from an impact that Amber experienced. Whereas Amber's got quite a bit of force behind her fall. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you like what you see, please hit the like button. If not, drop me a dislike and tell me why you hate it. And do me a favor and subscribe if you care to. Alright, love you guys. Be creative, do something productive, and don't waste your lives on food and simple pleasures, because there is a giant, giant world out there and a lot of crazy shit to do.